Bitcoin, the world's first cryptocurrency, has captivated global attention. Since its inception in 2009 by the mysterious figure known as Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin has grown from a niche digital experiment to a global financial phenomenon. Its rise has sparked debates, inspired innovation, and even led to the creation of thousands of other cryptocurrencies. It promises a decentralized, secure, and transparent financial system. Unlike traditional currencies controlled by central banks, Bitcoin operates on a peer-to-peer network, allowing users to transact directly without intermediaries. This decentralization is one of its most appealing features, offering a new level of financial freedom and autonomy. But what powers this revolutionary technology? At the heart of Bitcoin lies a groundbreaking innovation known as the blockchain. This digital ledger is the backbone of the entire system, ensuring that every transaction is recorded and verified in a transparent and immutable manner. The answer lies in a process called mining. Bitcoin mining is not just about creating new coins. It's a critical component that maintains the network's integrity and security. Without mining, the entire Bitcoin ecosystem would cease to function. Bitcoin mining is the engine that keeps the Bitcoin network running. It involves solving complex mathematical puzzles, which require significant computational power. This process ensures that transactions are verified and added to the blockchain in a secure and orderly manner. It is the process by which new Bitcoins are created and transactions are verified. Miners are rewarded with newly minted Bitcoins for their efforts, providing an incentive to continue supporting the network. Imagine a massive distributed ledger that records every Bitcoin transaction ever made. This ledger is accessible to anyone, providing unparalleled transparency and trust. Each entry in this ledger is a block, and these blocks are linked together to form the blockchain. This ledger, known as the blockchain, is maintained by a network of computers called miners. These miners work tirelessly to ensure the accuracy and security of the blockchain, making it one of the most robust and reliable systems in existence. These miners compete to solve complex mathematical problems. The difficulty of these problems adjusts over time, ensuring that new blocks are added to the blockchain at a consistent rate. This competition is fierce, requiring advanced hardware and significant energy consumption. The first miner to solve the problem gets to add a new block of transactions to the blockchain. This process not only secures the network, but also introduces new Bitcoins into circulation, adhering to a predetermined issuance schedule. Mining is essential for the security and integrity of the Bitcoin network. It ensures that all transactions are legitimate and prevents double spending, where the same Bitcoin could be used in multiple transactions. It ensures that no single entity can control the network or alter its history. This decentralization is a key feature that sets Bitcoin apart from traditional financial systems, making it resistant to censorship and manipulation. By requiring miners to expend computational power, Bitcoin mining makes it extremely difficult and costly for malicious actors to manipulate the system. This expenditure of resources is what makes the network secure and trustworthy. This process, known as proof of work, is fundamental to Bitcoin's security and trustworthiness. It ensures that the blockchain remains tamper-proof and that all participants can trust the validity of the transactions. In the following sections, we'll delve deeper into the intricacies of Bitcoin mining, exploring its mechanics, challenges, and implications for the future of finance. We'll examine the environmental impact, the evolution of mining technology, and the potential for new innovations that could shape the future of this digital gold rush. To understand Bitcoin mining, we must first grasp the concept of transactions and blocks. These are the fundamental building blocks of the Bitcoin network, and they play a crucial role in how the entire system operates. Every time someone sends Bitcoin, the transaction is broadcast to the network. This means that the transaction details are sent to all the nodes or computers that are part of the Bitcoin network. These transactions are like digital checks waiting to be cashed. Each transaction contains information about the sender, the receiver, and the amount of Bitcoin being transferred. Miners collect these pending transactions and group them together into blocks. This process is essential for maintaining the integrity and security of the Bitcoin network. Think of a block as a page in a ledger, where each transaction is a line item. Just like a traditional ledger, this digital ledger keeps a record of all transactions that have taken place. However, simply collecting transactions isn't enough. Miners must also verify the transactions to ensure they are legitimate and that the sender has enough Bitcoin to complete the transaction. To add a block to the blockchain, miners need to solve a cryptographic puzzle. This puzzle is a complex mathematical problem that requires significant computational power to solve. This puzzle involves finding a specific input, called a nonce, that, when combined with the block data, produces a hash that meets certain criteria. The nonce is a random number that miners change to try and find the correct hash. A hash is a unique alphanumeric string that acts like a fingerprint for the block. Each hash is unique to its block, ensuring that no two blocks are identical. The criteria for a valid hash are determined by the Bitcoin protocol. These criteria ensure that the hash meets certain conditions, making it difficult to find a valid hash by chance. The process of finding this nonce is what makes Bitcoin mining computationally intensive. Miners must try many different nonces before they find one that produces a valid hash. Miners race against each other, trying different nonces until they find the one that solves the puzzle. This competition is fierce, as the first miner to find the correct nonce is rewarded with newly minted Bitcoin. The first miner to find the correct nonce gets to add their block to the blockchain. This block is then added to the chain of previous blocks, creating a continuous and unalterable record of all transactions. This process of adding blocks to the blockchain is what keeps the Bitcoin network secure and decentralized. Each new block strengthens the chain, making it more difficult for any single entity to alter the transaction history. The decentralized nature of the Bitcoin network means that no single entity has control over the entire system. Instead, the network is maintained by thousands of nodes working together to verify and record transactions. Miners are rewarded for their work with newly minted Bitcoin and transaction fees. This incentivizes them to continue mining and maintaining the network. As the Bitcoin network grows and evolves, the process of mining becomes more challenging. This ensures that the supply of new Bitcoin remains limited, preserving its value over time. The concepts of transactions and blocks are not only fundamental to Bitcoin but also to the broader world of blockchain technology. Understanding these concepts is key to appreciating the potential of this revolutionary technology. At the core of Bitcoin mining lies the process of hashing. Hashing is like using a secret code to transform any piece of information into a fixed-length string of characters. In Bitcoin, a specific hashing algorithm called SHA-256 is used. Imagine a magical box that takes any input, whether it's a word, a sentence, or an entire book, and spits out a unique 64-character code. That's essentially what SHA-256 does. The beauty of this algorithm is that even a tiny change in the input will result in a completely different hash. Miners take the block data, which includes the list of transactions, a timestamp, and the hash of the previous block, and repeatedly hash it with different nonces. They are searching for a nonce that, when combined with the block data, produces a hash that starts with a certain number of zeros. The number of leading zeros required for a valid hash is called the difficulty target. The Bitcoin protocol automatically adjusts the difficulty target every 2016 blocks, aiming to keep the average block time around 10 minutes. Proof of work, securing the network. In the world of cryptocurrencies, securing the network is of paramount importance. One of the most well-known methods to achieve this is through a mechanism called proof of work. The process of finding a valid hash is computationally expensive and requires significant processing power. This means that miners, who are the participants in the network, must solve complex mathematical problems to validate transactions and add them to the blockchain. This is the essence of proof of work. It ensures that the network remains secure by making it difficult for any single entity to control the blockchain. By forcing miners to expend real-world resources, like electricity, Bitcoin ensures the security and integrity of its network. This expenditure acts as a deterrent against malicious activities, as the cost of attacking the network would be prohibitively high. Think of it like this. The more computational power is invested in mining, the more difficult it becomes to alter the blockchain. This is because the network adjusts the difficulty of the mathematical problems based on the total computational power, or hash rate, of the network. This is because any attempt to tamper with past transactions would require recalculating all subsequent blocks, which is practically impossible with the current hash rate of the network. The higher the hash rate, the more secure the network becomes. The miner who successfully mines a block is rewarded with newly created bitcoins, known as the block reward. This reward incentivizes miners to continue investing their resources in securing the network. The block reward is halved roughly every 4 years, a mechanism designed to control inflation and limit the total supply of Bitcoin to 21 million coins. This halving event ensures that the rate at which new Bitcoins are created slows down over time, making Bitcoin a deflationary asset. In addition to the block reward, miners also earn transaction fees. These fees are paid by users who want their transactions to be processed quickly and included in the next block. These fees are paid by users who want to prioritize their transactions and have them included in the next block. As the block reward decreases over time, transaction fees will become an increasingly important source of income for miners. The higher the fee offered, the more likely it is that miners will include the transaction in their block. This creates a competitive environment where users must balance the cost of their transaction fees with the urgency of their transactions. The decentralized nature of mining also plays a crucial role in securing the network. With miners spread across the globe, it becomes nearly impossible for any single entity to gain control over the majority of the network's computational power. This decentralized approach protects the network from what is known as a 51% attack, where a single entity could potentially manipulate the blockchain if they controlled more than half of the network's hash rate. The global distribution of miners ensures that the network remains resilient and robust, even in the face of potential attacks or failures in specific regions. As the cryptocurrency ecosystem continues to evolve, the methods and technologies used to secure the network will also advance. Innovations in cryptographic techniques and consensus mechanisms will further enhance the security and efficiency of blockchain networks. In conclusion, securing the network is a multifaceted challenge that requires a combination of computational power, economic incentives, and decentralized participation. Through mechanisms like proof of work, the integrity and security of blockchain networks can be maintained, ensuring their continued growth and adoption. Mining pools, joining forces for greater rewards. As the Bitcoin network grew, so did the difficulty of mining. This led to the emergence of mining pools, where individual miners combine their computing power to increase their chances of finding a valid block. Imagine a group of gold miners pooling their resources to buy better equipment and increase their chances of striking gold. Mining pools operate on a similar principle. By working together, miners can share the rewards proportionally to their contributed hash rate. Joining a mining pool reduces the variance in rewards for individual miners. Instead of relying on luck to mine a block solo, pool members receive regular payouts based on their contribution to the pool's overall hash rate. There are various types of mining pools, each with its own reward distribution method. Some popular methods include pay-per-share, PPS, which guarantees a payout for every share of work contributed, and proportional, where rewards are distributed proportionally to the miner's hash rate relative to the pool's total hash rate.